Pirro, Kimberly Guilfoyle are next, and later, former Governor Mike Huckabee and Dr. Ben Carson are here as we continue.
WikiLeaks released new Clinton campaign emails revealing how friendly Hillary was with the Attorney General Loretta Lynch. This was only months prior to Lynch's investigation of Hillary's illegal secret email server that gave foreign governments access to our confidential information. This comes on the heels of disclosure that Clinton campaign was conspiring and colluding with the State Department and Justice Department over the release of her emails and the investigation into her server.
Donald Trump earlier today talking about the new WikiLeaks revelations related to Hillary Clinton's server scandal. Now, among them was an email from Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta, to Clinton aide Cheryl Mills. Now, Podesta discussed Hillary's server scandal, asking, quote, well, you think we should hold emails to and from the POTUS, President of the United States? Well, that's the heart of the executive privilege, or his executive privilege. We could get them to ask for that. Now, they may not care, but it seems like they will. Here with reaction, the co-host of The Five, Kimberly Guilfoyle, the host of Justice, Judge Jeanine Pirro. Okay, we got to slow down here because we got collusion. We know that the State Department contacted Hillary's campaign, gave them a heads up. We know that the Justice Department gave Hillary's campaign a heads up. We know now that the White House was actively involved because the president, who said he learned about the emails in the press, ended up getting emails to and from Hillary. Now, I would say because of everyone's involvement, we need an outside investigator. We need a grand jury impaneled. And there is a possibility, first of all, that if they destroyed those emails and they were under subpoena, that's a crime. That's called obstruction of justice. So she could get elected and be impeached within days. True or false?
Well, you're right. She could get elected and be impeached, but here's the problem. You've got the Clintons who have their tentacles all over. This is a textbook example of collusion, corruption, and a banana republic. You've got the Department of Justice, the FBI, the State Department, as well as the White House, all in collusion, in agreement just to make sure that Hillary gets in. I mean, the deal is everybody's in on the deal except for the American people. You can get the Justice Department or a special prosecutor with grand jury powers to start all over. But here's the problem. Jim Comey destroyed some of the evidence. Jim Comey allowed for the destruction of some of the evidence.
It makes you wonder what they have on Jim Comey.
Well, you know what? It makes you wonder.
Because his actions don't make any sense.
I agree. I know him to be a different man, but I am terribly disappointed.
You think there's a possibility they may have something on him?
I don't know what they did to him or why he did what he did, but it's contrary to the law.
But here, if we're in the middle of an investigation, why would the Justice Department be talking to the Clinton campaign? Is there any justifiable reason, just like any justifiable reason Bill Clinton got on a plane for 40 minutes with Loretta Lynch?
No, the impropriety of it, the lack of ethics and morality. I mean, this is a big problem. And now here you have the proof is in the pudding in these emails to show the collusion, to show the desire to obstruct justice, to perpetrate a fraud upon the American people. It is outrageous. We're both former prosecutors. And when you see something like this, it really shocks the conscience. And by the way, this is about someone who may take the most important office in the world, the presidency of the United States.
I want to dig deeper into this because we know Obama lied when he told the American people, oh, I just learned about it in the press like all of you.
Yes.
That was a lie. Okay, so now we have an issue. If that evidence was subpoenaed, the emails, and John Podesta and Cheryl Mills are conspiring to erase them and get rid of them, and he's invoking executive privilege as a means of getting out from under this cloud, what did the president know? And when did he know it?
And that's exactly the problem, because you've got this cover-up, and generally the cover-up is worse than the crime itself. You've got the president saying he had no idea that she had this private server.
And he's emailing her on it.
He's emailing her on it. And I said right from the beginning, the reason there were no charges by Comey is because the first witness for Hillary Clinton for the defense would be President Barack Obama, because he was communicating with her on a private server less secure than Google. Google. Let's get into
So wait a minute. So did Obama influence his attorney general and his State Department?
Of course he did.
Okay, but that is against the law.
No kidding. But if you listen to Loretta Lynch, you think she's made an independent decision in her life?
No.
When she meets with Bill Clinton on an airplane, and then 2 days later, Hillary Clinton says, if I become president, I'm going to appoint her attorney general. This is a banana republic, and we're the stooges in it.
Well, and it's the way the Clintons do business. It's the way Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, and by the way, they were passing out immunity like party favors to everybody, including Cheryl Mills, who was also advising Hillary at the time.
So basically they did it to shut the case down.
Right. You're going to have to ask a judge, too, to set aside, perhaps, some of the immunity grants.
But in a proffer agreement, isn't it given specific information that you're going to hand over?
Right.
So there may still be some openings somewhere, but I'm assuring they probably dotted their I's and crossed their T's here.
The proffer agreement is only issued by the Department of Justice when the person making the proffer is offering them evidence of a crime. Otherwise, there's no point of giving immunity.
Why would the FBI ever agree as part of the deal to destroy evidence?
Because they wanted to get rid of it, pure and simple. Sometimes the most simple answers are the ones that first come to mind.
Right.
And so what they didn't count on is that WikiLeaks had all of them.
The
That would
Julian
expose
Assange.
it. Yeah, that's the thing. That was the unknown variable that came forward that will haunt them. And the problem is we're real close to the election here, and there's a strong likelihood she could be the next president. Now what?
But they knew
Impeach her.
They knew WikiLeaks was coming out, which is why they saved all of the Trump stuff. They knew they were in deep trouble, and they said, let's hold all this.
So that's where the women come from. Well, five at once.
The bottom line is you wonder why these allegations weren't brought forward, and then also why the media was complicit in holding things like the tape to bring it forward for maximum impact.
All right, by the way, between the two, you guys got a lot of bling. I'm noticing your
she's got much
earrings
more.
and
She's got the good stuff.
I am totally like.
but don't even go there.
I don't wear jewelry at all. I don't even have a ring. I don't have nothing. All right.
You got something better.
Yeah, you
and
do.
coming up next tonight on Hannity.
If I watched Fox News, I wouldn't vote for me. I understand. If I was listening to Rush Limbaugh, I'd say, man, that was terrible.
Here's Obama back out there campaigning and for Hillary Clinton and attacking talk radio. Conservatives, Fox News, big shock. Former Governor Mike Huckabee, Dr. Ben Carson will weigh in as we continue. Obama was out campaigning for Hillary Clinton yesterday. Instead of talking about her record, well, he began criticizing Republicans, talk radio, Fox News. Wow, back to the same old, same old. Watch this.
Some of these folks on talk radio started talking about how I was the Antichrist. This is in the swamp of crazy. Look, if I watched Fox News, I wouldn't vote for me. I understand. If I was listening to Rush Limbaugh, I'd say, man, it's terrible.
Joining us now, two former 2016 GOP presidential candidates, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, Dr. Ben Carson. With all the revelations, Governor Huckabee, with the collusion with the Clinton campaign in the White House, the collusion with the State Department, the collusion with the Justice Department, doesn't it seem odd, the timing, all the women in one day, right in the middle of the WikiLeaks dump, that show all of this, that show that even the president lied to us about when he got emails from Hillary?
You know, it's not surprising to me, Sean, because this is exactly what I experienced in Arkansas at the hands of the Clinton political machine every time I was on the ballot. Within weeks, usually sometimes days of the election, there would be all manner of the craziest stuff imaginable being thrown, even lawsuits filed, everything you can imagine and more, to give the press something to talk about and write about other than the issues of the election. So it looks very familiar to me. I've not only seen it, I've been there in the middle of it before, and not the least bit surprised by it. Let me just say this. So far, we can't verify a lot of these allegations, but let me tell you what we can verify. We can verify that if Hillary is elected, we have a real good shot at losing religious liberty, the Second Amendment, the Fourth and the Fifth, having open borders, leaving
Open
Israel
hemisphere.
to blow in the wind. We can verify that this country is going to take a very, very negative direction, and that's what we need to be focused on.
And Dr. Carson, when you look at the collusion with the media seems they're not paying attention to some of the most profound things that have been revealed here. The propaganda efforts, the lying efforts, the collusion that has gone on here. No, they just want to talk about the new allegations while simultaneously ignoring Juanita Broderick, Paula Jones, and Kathleen Willey and Kathy Shelton, who I interviewed last night. So it shows that everything we learned in WikiLeaks about NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Boston Globe is all true. That they're in bed with the Clintons. So the Clintons now want them to talk about the women that make allegations but only against Trump and ignore WikiLeaks. They're just taking orders from the Clintons, it seems.
Yeah, it does seem that way. It's so predictable. And, you know, a week or two ago, I predicted that exactly this would happen. I said that the tape was not going to be the last thing. There'd be another thing the next week and another thing the next week, because that's what they do, because they don't want to discuss the issues. I mean, wouldn't it be refreshing to have an open and honest discussion between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump about why he wants to lower taxes and why she wants to raise them? Explain the rationale behind that, why he wants to secure our borders, why she wants to have open borders. I think it will be a fascinating discussion, and the American people deserve to know the differences. We're not giving it to them.
You know, Governor, when you look at the media, and that establishment is for Hillary, and that's now confirmed. And, you know, CNN feeding questions to Hillary, MSNBC being fed questions to ask Hillary in a lead up to an election. And then you got the Republican establishment. They're weak, they cut and run, and they never liked the insurgency of Donald Trump to begin with. Then you got the Democratic establishment. It's like everybody's against him. Then you see the poll numbers the way they are, Hillary in the lead in the polls. Do you think that Donald Trump has a fair shot at winning this at this point, 25 days out?
Well, I do think he's got to start focusing solely on the issues that pack those rallies out by the tens of thousands. He can't let himself take the bait and respond to all these allegations, because then he spends too much time, just gives more attention, and he validates a lot of the accusations. So my advice, focus on the fact of the contrast between Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and it's major. It's significant. And by the way, I have to comment, when Barack Obama said that if everybody had listened to Fox News, he wouldn't have been elected, that proves right there, Sean, that people should have been watching Fox News and not all the other stuff, and maybe we wouldn't have had the past 8 years with a totally broken economy.
All right, guys, thank you both for being with us. 25 days to go. When we come back, First Lady Michelle Obama, she's hitting the campaign trail hard for Hillary Clinton, but the Obamas and Clintons, they've not always been friends. We'll explain that in more detail as Hannity continues.
People who are truly strong lift others up. People who are truly powerful bring others together. And that is what we need in our next president. We need someone who is a uniting force in this country. We need someone who will heal the wounds that divide us. Someone who truly cares about us and our children. Someone with strength and compassion to lead this country forward. And let me tell you, I'm here today because I believe with all of my heart that Hillary Clinton will be that president.
All right, that was First Lady Michelle Obama praising Hillary Clinton at a campaign event yesterday. But back in 2007, when then Senator Obama was locked in a primary fight with Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama was singing a very different tune. Take a look.
One of the things, the important aspects of this race is role modeling what good families should look like. And my view is that if you can't run your own house, you certainly can't run the White House. Can't do it.
Now, I wonder if the First Lady thinks after today's WikiLeaks document dump a little bit differently. Now, as we revealed earlier in the show, now the Clinton campaign back in 2008 appeared set on pushing a narrative that Obama's father was a Muslim. And they also wanted to bring up the fact that he liked to do blow, cocaine use. Joining us now, radio talk show host Rose Tennant, the author of Government Gone Wild. Kristen Tate is back with us. All right, so let's go over some of this. Kristen, good to see you again, by the way.
Good to
Congrats
see you.
on the book.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, so we know that back back in 2008 that they were focusing on the fact that he wouldn't put his hand over his heart or wear a flag pin. The Clinton campaign was saying he'd negotiate with terrorist nations like Iran and North Korea, that he voted against the use of handguns for people to defend themselves, that he was going to raise taxes by $180 billion to pay for Obamacare, that his father was a Muslim, and Obama grew up among Muslims, and he's one of the most liberal senators in the Senate, and it goes on from there, and he did a little blow.
Yep, well, these Democrats are such flagrant hypocrites, but you know what? Michelle Obama is going to get up there, she's going to put her acting shoes on, bring out her shaky, upset voice to express how horrified she is. It's called politics, and Republicans need to get used to it. Trump's biggest foe right now isn't Michelle Obama, it's not Hillary, it's not even the media, it's the GOP establishment. Say what you will about the Democrats, they are very good at coming together when they need to win elections.
Oh, they fight.
Oh, well, they come together, though, when they need to. Meanwhile, the GOP is throwing the only candidate who can beat Hillary Clinton under the bus. I mean, look at Hillary's most effective ads. It's all other Republicans slandering Trump. And these establishment pukes think they are such angels for walking away from their imperfect
You sound like
candidate.
me. I think you got talk radio in your future. There's no doubt about it. Rose, let me bring you into this.
She does. She does.
But you know something? They don't like each other. This is a
They never
phony
did.
act. And if Michelle Obama's so outraged over Donald Trump's tape, you would think maybe she thought, well, not that well of, let's see, Paula and Juanita and Kathleen and Kathy Shelton.
You know, I'm sure Michelle Obama dreads getting up every day and doing the job she's got to do. I know Ed Klein has been telling me for years how much the Clintons are despised and disliked by the Obamas, by the Obamas. But you know what, Sean? Something Kristen said, she's right. The real enemy is the GOP, and I wouldn't disagree with her at all. But I'd like to just remind everyone that the movie they're watching play out right now with the parade of women that the left and the media is bringing out happened before. If you remember Herman Cain, who was this black conservative that people really, really liked, he was wowing crowds. He was so dynamic in his speeches, so inspirational. I was at quite a few rallies with him. The people were falling in love with him. He could eat Obama for lunch in a debate, and that scared the left. So what did they do? They brought out the blonde bombshell from Chicago. Gloria
What did you
Allred
think? Let me
showed
ask,
up.
Rose,
It's the
let me
same
ask you
cast
this.
of characters right
How
now.
does they do this at 5 women just in the middle of the WikiLeaks dumps? So here we are, 20 days out. Let's just dump 5 women on them. So that's all the media is going to focus on, not what we're focusing on.
The timing of all of this is very suspicious, but it's just a ploy to deflect people's attention away from the issues, away from Hillary's scandals,
Will it work?
and on to these
Will
things.
this work?
It is so far. The media has been, reporting on this stuff nonstop, and the GOP is just making it worse. What's Paul Ryan doing? He's spending his time trashing Trump. The GOP elites say they hate Trump. They created Trump. They were in the Congress for 8 years. They gave Obama everything he wanted. There was no pushback. Now the voters are fed up, and this is what we've got.
Rose, last word.
Well, you know what? I'd like to say that I don't think it's going to work. They're trying the same play from the same playbook, and it's not going to work this time. Not with Donald Trump. It just won't. And I'll tell you something else. As long as Donald Trump stays on the offense and doesn't go to defense, he can win this. That's what he did at the debate. When he came off the debate and showed up at his rallies, people were going crazy. And that's what he needs to do, stay on the offense. Yeah.
Good to see you both. Appreciate it.
Good
And when
to
we
see
come
you
back,
too.
Thank
we
you.
need your help. Very important question of the day, straight ahead. All right, time for our question of the day. So why is the media not spending more time covering the WikiLeaks emails? Well, it's pretty obvious, right? Just go to facebook.com/Sean Hannity. There's media people here. You know why? Because they want Hillary to win. Simple answer. Anyway, also on Twitter, you want to come on and debate? @Sean Hannity. Quick programming note. Tune in Monday night. We'll be in Las Vegas ahead of Wednesday's 3rd and final presidential debate. That's all the time we have left this evening. As always, thank you for being with us. Hope you have a great weekend. Let's see if a liberal can catch. Ready?